Cell structure. Most body cells have similar basic structure. A typical cell contains mainly three parts: cell membrane, nucleus, and cytoplasm. Cell membrane or plasma membrane. Each cell is surrounded by a thin cytoplasmic membrane called cell membrane or plasma membrane. It is selectively permeable. The cell membrane is made up of a three-layered membrane: an outer and inner layer of proteins and a middle layer of lipids, fats. Functions: gives a definite shape to the cell, protects the internal contents of the cell, regulates entry and exit of substances in and out of the cell, helps in the process of active intake of solid and liquid materials. In animal cells, this helps in the formation of vesicles, cilia, flagella, microvilli, etc. Membrane transport. The passage of substances across plasma membrane occurs by three methods: diffusion, osmosis, and bulk transport. Diffusion. Diffusion is the spontaneous movement of a substance from a region of its higher concentration to the region where its concentration is low. Some substances like carbon dioxide, oxygen, water, etc. can move across the cell membrane by the process called diffusion. Importance of diffusion. It brings about respiratory exchange of gases between cells and their surrounding medium. It spreads different types of substances throughout the cytoplasm of the cell. It helps in transpiration or loss of water in the form of vapor from plant surface. It spreads fragrance of the flowers into the air to attract the pollinating creatures. Osmosis. Osmosis is the movement of water from a region of higher water concentration through a semi-permeable membrane to a region of lower water concentration. Endosmosis and exosmosis. If an animal cell or plant cell is put into a solution of sugar or salt prepared in water, following three things could happen. If the medium surrounding the cell has higher water concentration than the cell, then the water will enter into the cell. This entry of water into a cell is called endosmosis. When water enters, the cell will swell up. Such a cell is called turgid cell. If the medium has exactly the same water concentration as the cell, then there will be no net movement of water across the cell membrane. If the medium has a lower concentration of water than the cell, then the water will move out of the cell. This withdrawal of water from a cell is called exosmosis. As a result of exosmosis, the cell will shrink. Such a cell with shrunken protoplast is called plasmolysed cell. Importance of osmosis. Unicellular freshwater organisms absorb water through osmosis. Land plants absorb water by their roots from the soil by osmosis. Cell-to-cell movement of water takes place by osmosis. The soft organ-like leaves, flowers and young shoots are kept stretched by cell turgidity, provided by osmosis. Bulk transport. The flexibility of the cell membrane enables the cell to engulf food and other material from the external environment and also expulsion of certain material out of the cell. The intake of materials by the cells through cell membrane is called endocytosis. The bulk expulsion of materials from the cell through the cell membrane is called exocytosis. Cell wall. Plant cells have a rigid and definite cell wall, which is absent in animal cell. The cell wall is composed of cellulose and may contain waxes and suberins. The cell wall, which acts as a protective wall, lies outside the plasma membrane, which is the non-living part of the cell. It is freely permeable to most molecules. Functions. Determines the shape of the plant cell. Prevents drying up of cells. Protects the plasma membrane and internal structures of the cell. Helps in the transport of various substances in and out of the cell. Does not allow too much of water to come in, which prevents the cytoplasm from becoming too dilute. Cytoplasm. It is the essential part of the cell which occurs between the plasma membrane and nuclear envelope. It is composed of proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, water, and inorganic substances. The cytoplasm is divided into two regions: the peripheral non-granular clear portion called ectoplasm and the inner granular non-viscous portion called endoplasm. Cytoplasm is a colloidal fluid containing cell organelles, living components like mitochondria, ribosomes, lysosomes, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, etc., and cell inclusions, which are non-living substances.